So a cable that supports a suspension bridge is parabolic. The horizontal distance between the ends of the cables is 140 meters, and the midpoint of the cable is 14 meters below each end of the cable. And we want to come up with a model, an equation to model this. Okay? So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to draw my x and my y axes. And you have some options in a question like this. The options is that this x and y axis, if we're making a model, we can put it anywhere. Okay? I highly think that this is a bad place to put it. Because I'm like, well, where is everything? Right? One of the things we know about this graph is it has a vertex right there. That's the vertex of this parabola. Where would you like that vertex? Would you like it there? What do you think would be the easiest to do some figuring with? I really think 0, 0 would be really nice, right? If you make your vertex at 0, 0, what else do we know? So now, as far as our equation goes, as far as figuring out an equation for this, we've already solved P and Q by doing that. P is 0, Q is 0. Life is really easy that way. But we still need to find out what A is. So the next thing, if you decide that 0, 0 is the point that you're choosing, is there another point that you know for sure is on this parabola if the vertex is at 0, 0? What other points could you label? 70, comma, okay, in green. Does that make sense? 70, comma, 14? Because it's 140 all the way across. If you make your vertex right in the middle, there would have to be 70 on this side and 70 on this side. So this one will be minus 70, comma, 14. And again, we're going to use this idea, if a point is on the parabola, it makes it true. So what do we know so far? We know so far, this is our equation. Y is equal to ax squared. I just don't know what A is yet. But I know that this point makes it true. So when y is 14, x is 70. Well, that's not a very nice number. So, but I could definitely solve for here. I could go, okay, 70 squared is 4,900 times 8. And I could divide both sides by 4,900. For those of you with the graphing calculator, I'm going to show you something kind of neat. We could write this as a decimal. If we have it as a fraction, we'll need to put it in lowest terms. I'm going to show you a little trick with the calculator. If it loads up, there we go. So as a decimal, 14 divided by 4,900 is not the nicest looking decimal, but it would be right. You could write your answer this would be a correct answer. I put the little squiggle signs there because I had to round it. And rounded answers aren't necessarily what you love. Okay? You could try to reduce this and keep it exact by hand, right? Notice you can divide both top and bottom by 2. You might also recognize they both divide by 7. But on your calculator, if you did 14 divided by 4,900, if you hit the math button, the very first thing says You can change things back to fractions. So if I push enter on that, it says, would you like to change your answer back to a fraction? And when it changes it back to a fraction, it changes it to lowest terms. So that's kind of neat. So I took my answer, I changed it back to a fraction, and I now know that the exact answer, maybe I'll write here below here, and this becomes a model for that bridge. Everybody see that bridge news? That is crazy. That's like a very bad accident. Okay, so questions for practice on this one. Just circle number 11.